hello, good morning, good day, good afternoon, good morgen, guten Tag, konnichiwa to all the people, merhaba to everyone around the world who's watching these and tuning in. My name is Andrew Hochrattle. You can just call me Hoch. It's H-O-C-H, very, very German. And I will be your host and guide to the stars over the next week and a half now. Y'all, we've made it through a little while. So in the next week and a half, we are doing daily creative challenges. It is a great time. Look at all these friends here. Eric, Nick, Andre, Michelle, hello. Now, let's do a couple quick things and let's hop right into the tutorial today. So if you want to get involved in what we are doing in these daily creative challenges, you can come over here to behance.net/challenge/illustrator. You can get all of the source files. And today, hello, Carrie, hello, Ashley, hello, Colby, all these people at DT. You can get all the source files right here. Today, it's very important to have the source files. We're going to be building a control panel. So it's very important. Get into behance.net/challenge/illustrator to get our source files. Next up, one more thing I want to talk about real quick is the Adobe Creative Residency Community Fund. You can go here and someone will drop that into chat for you, and you can apply to get your part of $1 million from Adobe. They're doing $500 to $5,000 in funded projects if you have a project you'd like to pitch, or doing commissions from $500 to $5,000. So you can get into that and be a part of what's going on there. All right, I promised today that we would keep the announcements very short and quick and to the point, but if you want to join and become a part of our community, you can join it right here at bit.ly/AI Discord. This is where you get plugged in. This is where you get into the zone. And actually, let's take a look and see what's happening over in Discord. My DMs are currently happening over in Discord, so let's hop into the challenge tab. People are posting their challenges from yesterday. We made planets yesterday. So you can join that bit.ly link as you do your projects and drop them in here and get feedback from some of our incredible, amazing mentors. This is great. Intergalactic Rideshare. Absolutely love that, Jenna. Great work. Very, very fun. So with that, if you're ready, chat, you know what to do. Give me those rocket ships, give me those stars, and let's go to space. And we did it. We are back. We are in space. And yes, all the mentors are in chat. It's so good to see you. Hello, Julia. Hello, friends. Wade, all our friends. And y'all, we did it. We have planets today. We have actual planets in our solar system. So pretty fun. Thanks, Amazon, for coming together and finally getting me the things that we needed. So we have planets, we are flying, and today we will be making the control panel, right? Nothing's more important when you're going to space than having a good control panel. And yes, Ashi, I am very theatrical. So let's hop over into Illustrator pretty much right away and start building out some of the buttons. Now, when you think about a button in a spaceship, right? There are buttons that are different sizes, different colors, but they almost always are glowing, right? Maybe we have that big red button that will like set off the ignition sequence. Maybe there are some little green buttons, maybe a red, yellow, and green button. So today I'm going to be showing you some ways how to make glowing buttons as well as define them as graphic styles so that we can kind of fill it in. So again, if you don't have the source file, you're going to need it today. We are very much hopping in to that source file and using a lot of those assets. So let's hop over here. Let's see how this key works. Yes, it makes me so happy that the little planets are still flying there. Oh, what joy in my heart. So let's go ahead and read our prompt for today, and then we will get started. So design the control panel for a spaceship using outer and inner glows to create glowing buttons. Don't forget the labels, and I've provided some labels for you. So today we're going to be using mostly the inner and outer glow in the effects panel. And I think it's ready, and I think it's time to engage the hyperdrive trindle thingy. If you've ever played Space Team, it's one of my favorite games of all time, and this is inspired by Space Team. So I'm going to show you a little bit. We're going to put a button right here, and this is going to be our big button. We want this to be maybe the... let's do the ignition button right here. So we're just going to drag this up and over here. Oops. This stuff is on the wrong layer. So you can fix that by right-click, transform. Right-click, arrange, and bring to front. That is my bad. It is on the wrong layer. So next we're going to grab the rectangle tool over here. And I'm just going to click and drag holding shift to make a big square. It will keep it proportionate to itself, proportional. Can someone tell me which I should use? But it keeps it that by holding shift. And we're going to make this button, what color do we want our ignition button? Let's do red. Red feels like a good color. So what we want to do is we want to have this in kind of a mid-zone. And to make this look like it is glowing or make it look like it has some dimension, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on it. I'm going to go up here to Effects. So Effects is a very powerful panel. I would suggest that you go through and just play with all of these and see what you can find. But today we're going to go to Stylize. Then we are going to go to Inner Glow. And Inner Glow, if you look at a button, right? You think about a button, it has that little bit of a bright center and then a darker edge. So we're going to come up here into this panel where we have our options. And we are going to set this to a little bit of a darker red color. Now, there are two options that you need to pay attention here. We can go and do the center, which means that this color, oops, I got a color that was too similar. Let's do dark maroon. There we go. That is the center, which means that that glow will be glowing from the center, or we can do the edge, which means it will be glowing in from the edge. So here we want the edge because we have the darkness that we want around that edge to glow in. We're going to use the darker color as the edge coming in. So we can change the opacity here if we want. We can take this down to 20%, but we really want it somewhere up in 80 so that we get that real dimension. So it looks like it's got that kind of rounded edge, but it's glowing from the middle. Are these raster or vector effects? These that we are using are, I believe that technically they're raster, but they work in vector. Technically, actually no, they are vector. But they are gradients. So if you're looking to like screen print or something, it won't necessarily print like this. All right, so we're going to set the blur to 55 over here. And we are going to hit OK. So now you can see we have this great little like harsh edge on our button. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to grab these corners by using the little nodes here. And I'm just going to click and drag those in so that our button has a little more of a rounded appearance. Now, if we come over here to our appearance panel up here, you can see, I'll just pull this down, there we go, that we have an inner glow applied. And that's great. That inner glow is this edge that we have here. But I want to add another one in there because I want the middle to be glowing. And so what we can do is you can actually stack effects, which is really cool. So we're going to click on effects. We are going to go back up to Stylize, Inner Glow. And we will apply a new effect. And that is going to add an effect on top of this one. But for this effect, we want this center to be glowing. So we're going to go in here, and we are going to do a very bright red. And we're going to change it, instead of from the edge, to the center. And as we start to take this up to a higher number, you'll see... Oh, blur, why are you not going for me? Oh, there we go. Uh-oh. I swear I did this right before, and it totally worked. So we're going to go to Stylize, Inner Glow, Apply New Effect. That's what we want. Let's make this green and see if we can figure out what is going on here. Why is it not blurring out? Oh, you know why it's not working? Because I don't have a shape selected. I'm so sorry, y'all. All right, all we need to do is we need to select this shape, then we come into effects, then we go into stylize, inner glow, apply new effect, and it will start to stack those. There we go. That's exactly what we want. So now you can see the middle of this is starting to glow much more. So let's say we do 50. It is from the center. So that means if we do, let's say 200. You can see that it is now glowing from that center. And if we make it a yellow color, let's do that. You can see that it glows from the middle instead of the edge. So this is a way to do a very bright red to have it glow in the middle. And actually, let's make this a little bit powdery maybe so we can get that real glow. I lied. I want it red. All right, there we go. So now we have the glowing middle of the red, we have the darker edge coming in, and those are stacked with the inner glows. And now what we can do is we can come in here, we can select this, and again go to Effects, go over to Stylize, and this time we're going to do an outer glow. So the inner glow applies to the inside of the shape, the outer glow applies to the outside. So it will make it look like that light is kind of spilling out. So we're going to go to Outer Glow, and we're going to change this to just a bright red. So there we go. Now we've got a glowing red. Let's change this to like 80% to make it really glow. And change this to maybe 15 pixels. There we go. So now if we zoom out, you can see it really looks like it has a kind of light glow to it. If we zoom out even more, you can see that this ignition button is starting to look like a button. Now what I like to do is I'll go in, select this shape, and I'll actually make a stroke around it of whatever that color is, whatever that the base color is. So I'll come in here and I'll make a stroke that is a very intense red, and then I'll take that stroke up a little bit. Oops, I'm going to actually do this on a new shape so we can put it on top. So to do that, I'm just going to copy, and then I'm going to edit and hit paste in place. And paste in place will drop a copy of it on top of that copy, on top of that shape. I'm going to turn off these, turn off our fill, and we want a stroke that is just red. So this is on a separate layer so that we can multiply it on top. So I'm going to do, 7 pixels. Going to hit OK, and then I'm going to come over here and hit multiply. And what that's going to do is it's going to give us a little bit of that bevel. So see if we zoom in here, it has a little bit of that bevel, and to me that helps it show that it is an actual button that we could push and not something that is kind of just sitting on top. So what's great about this is if we want to, we can start converting this to other buttons, right? So maybe let's go and start working on our thrusters. Let's pull our thrusters up over here. Again, we are just right-clicking, going to transform, or sorry, going to arrange, did the same thing, and bring to front. So what's great, and this is where you can start playing and really experimenting with how you do and use these styles and how you use these effects, is we can come here and let's instead make these, let's not do that yet. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's grab a copy of this shape, which means we're going to click, bring it over here, and we're holding Alt or Option, and that's just going to make a copy. I grabbed a copy of the stroke and not the regular one. Am I hitting all the wrong buttons? I am. There we go. So I'm just using the scale tool, which is S, to scale that down so that we now have a little button here. And let's actually do 3 of these. So I'm clicking and dragging, holding Alt or Option, and then Command D is going to, again, transform it with the same. So if I had copied it and moved it, it will copy and move it again for me. So what's great is I can come in here now, and I can start messing with, I'll select one of these. We'll come over to the Appearance panel, and maybe our fill now, we want this to be green. So we can come in here and pick our green color, and then just go through and edit these inner glows. So we know that this is our darker edge, so we need it to be a darker green. There we go. Actually, let's make it a little bit darker green. There we go. Hit OK, and then we have our inner glow in the center. And we are going to make this a bright lime green. How did you grab something that isn't the top layer? It is just a stroke, so you can actually grab through what that stroke is. You also could hit Command L, and it would lock it, and you could select what is below. And then again, with our outer glow, we're just going to change this to a bright green. Oops, there we go. So now we have our glowing green button. Let's actually put this one last. And let's try this. Maybe we want our mid button to be a little bit different because we don't want somebody to push it on accident. So instead, the middle button, which is maybe the emergency, is going to be a circle, right? So we have 2 squares and a circle. Now what's great about this is if I have this button selected, our red button over here, I can come to graphic styles and I can just click on this little new button right here above my head. So we click on this, and that is going to add a new graphic style that you can see right here. Now, what it's doing is it's taking all of the things that we have here, the fill, the inner glow, the 2 inner glows, the outer glow, and the opacity, and basically saving it. So now I can click on this shape that we have in the middle, click on graphic styles, and select that graphic style that we just had. And it will now convert it to whatever that new shape was, right? Pretty cool. And something that I like to do is I will work in graphic styles in grays. I'll work in grays, and then I can drop color on top of it to change the color of those things. So if we want to, real quick, let's just go in and change this into a yellow button. Again, all of this is customizable. I'm having trouble with words today. All of this is able to be customized. How about that? And you can play around with your different colors, your different buttons, and even making these some crazy shapes. So there we go. Now we have our buttons very easily. Now we have our graphic style for our buttons. And what's great is I can come in here now that I have the yellow and green and save these as graphic styles as well. So click on the yellow. Click there. Now we have a yellow graphic style, and green. Now we have a green graphic style. Now it should be pretty easy to start building out the rest of these, right? That maybe for the, let's smash the sub button. Also, if you're on YouTube, come over to Behance. The chat is in Behance. Come join us in Behance and say hello. First smash that sub button and then come say hello. Those are the 2 steps that you need to do. So maybe our sub button is just going to be a long button that goes across this way. There we go. And maybe the sub button we actually want to be like a button that has a switch. So we can select this shape. We're going to grab the pen tool, and we are going to put a couple points in the middle on the top and bottom. There we go. So we lock those down. I'm going to select those 2 points and just pull them down a little bit, just like that. And so now I can click this and apply. There we go. Our inner glows, our outer glows. Now we have this button, right? It looks a little bit wonky, but what we can do is now add on top of this. So what I'm going to do is click here, and I'm just using the pen tool, holding shift to make those straight lines, and do these anchor points over this red shape. Now, something that you can do is fill with a gradient. So we're going to click and fill. How do you multiply a stroke? You select the stroke and you change the blending mode to multiply. So we're going to make this a gradient here, and I want this to be a directional gradient. There we go. And let's see. I want this. Oops. Oh no, I lost a point. Oh no, I did it. There we go. So I want this to be a directional gradient, and we'll just do that red a little bit darker and then go to a white. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this shape that's on top, and I am going to multiply that on top. And it's not working out exactly for us, so I'm going to make this darker. And again, once we have the gradient on there, you can just double click on this node and make it, there we go, to a darker color. There we go. And this is actually looking the opposite of what I want it to. I want it to look like you can kind of push it one way or another. And so I'm going to flip this to see if that helps, which again, it might not. So we're going to do gradient. And again, it's nice because you can just drag these gradients wherever you want. There we go. That didn't do what we wanted it to. Sorry, that was my fault. That didn't do what I was hoping it would do. And let's make this white over here. There we go. So now we have this little crease in that button. Pretty good, right? And let's say that we want this now to be a green button because we want it activated. We can easily come in here, go back to our graphic styles and click on green, and it's going to shift that using the same glows, the same inner glows, the same outer glows, everything that we need for that button. And what's great is it doesn't just work for any of these. Maybe this is a weird little spaceship and maybe the flongets need to be activated. So we're going to go ahead and grab the flongets. And the great thing about graphic styles is literally any shape that you make, you can apply that graphic style to it. So maybe the flongets have a button that looks like this, right? It's a very complex system. It needs a button that is very complex. We're going to round this out. So these are the flongets. And we can come in here, select this. And again, because even though it's not a geometric shape, we can apply the flongets yellow and you can see that it's glowing. Now, if this feels like too much, right? This inner glow feels like too much for me. It's great because we can select it, go into our appearance panel, and then find the inner glow. We can turn these in and off. That inner glow is too much. So we'll click on that inner glow and change this to maybe 10 pixels. There we go. And now we've customized the flongets to have just enough glow so that it isn't overpowering on some of the shapes. So everything's customizable, everything's usable, and this is a great way using these graphic styles and the appearance panel and the effects to build your control board. So build your control board and then go to bit.ly/AI Discord, and that will get you into our Discord where people are posting their projects right now. I'll be hopping over there to give you feedback and thoughts. And yeah, make sure you stick around for the next streams. If you want to connect with me on any of the things, any social media, especially here on Behance, you can go to hawk.co. Get out of the way, Jupiter. You can go to hawk.co, hoch.co. There's too many planets. And that will connect you with me on Behance. And every time I go live, Monday and Tuesday nights, you can come hang out and join me for that time. So hopefully this was a very informative session and a fun time for you. Again, when I do these challenges, I want you to expand on them. So today, in the 25 minutes that we have, we got through using colors, using effects, defining graphic styles, and started to lay this out. But if you're going to go in and want to step this up, try to add textures. I want you to maybe make the metal look like it's metal. Maybe make the buttons look like they have fingerprints on them. Maybe there's some like alien acid splatter that has gone across the control board. Anything that you want to add to this to tell your story, make sure you do that. And tomorrow we will be coming back, same time, same place, to wrap up our first week of Daily Creative Challenges. The first week was, in theory, all about us getting ready to go on our journey. And next week, we will be completely in space. All of our challenges will be floating in space. We'll be making scatter brushes with stars, and then eventually mapping our route back home next Friday. So make sure that you tune in and come back for those 11:30 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time every day. Kathy, Paige, Maja, Keith, thanks everyone for coming to hang out with us. Hopefully this was fun. And y'all, we ended just a tiny bit early. I started a little bit early, got through my announcements. So I want to tell you about one more thing before we end today's stream. Is tomorrow. Tomorrow. We will be hosting at 1 p.m. The office hours with myself and Nick Longo. Now, it is a very special week because we will be giving away some very, very special giveaways. So make sure that you tune in. You can use hashtag Adobe Office Hours to submit your portfolios for us to review. And there will be a huge giveaway happening tomorrow. Now, I don't want to give it away. Don't want to tell you what it is yet, but there will be a huge giveaway. Come hang out tomorrow, 1 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, to get your portfolios reviewed. So stick around for our next stream. As always, when you pop in there, leave them some stars, leave them some spaceships to let them know that there is some love from Hawk coming on. I believe that Paul Tranny is up next with, let's see here. Yes, with Stephanie Bruckler. So make sure you stick around for them. Drop some stars, drop some spaceships, say that you love them, and I will see you all tomorrow in space. Bye.